Riverdale's back. It's been a few months since the 5-episode miniseries alternate reality spin-off extravaganza we had leading up to the 100th episode, and now finally we get to find out what's actually happening in the show and not just look at like how good the show could be if they actually, made it a completely different show. So after the 5-episode multiverse miniseries where we found out that there are infinite Riverdales and the Jughead of Riverdale is now god of the universe and decides what happens to who and just hangs out forever in Dilton Doiley's bunker with Ethel Muggs, who I assume is also now some kind of demigod or something. But yeah, so once again we're back in the Riverdale Prime universe where Veronica's dad planted a bomb under Archie's bed which was supposed to blow him and everyone else up. And yet, here they all are, just as spry as can be. Archie, the natural redhead, yep, no further questions, Your Honor. Betty in her perfect hair despite surviving an explosion. And Jughead, who was in the garage at the time.
Tell me again exactly what happened.
Archie and I were in his room, and that's when I got the phone call. It was a man. He said that we needed to get out of the house, that there was a bomb under the bed.
We have to go.
Yeah, so we ran downstairs, slid under the dining room table, right when the bomb went off.
So everyone's doing just fine, but I mean, come on, this is Riverdale after all. We all know what's really going on here. We're gonna find out that Archie's been replaced with a clone that Hiram gene spliced with Betty's dad's serial killer DNA, and Betty is actually her own daughter, who came back from the future but currently has amnesia. But actually all of this is taking place in Jughead's mind after he fell off the side of the SS Tipton back when he was like 14. I mean, come on, you know I'm right, makes perfect sense. But jokes aside, so somehow they've all survived this giant explosion.
Walk me through this again, Archie. You and Betty ran into the dining room and hid. Under which table? The one that's completely crushed?
Now, as you can probably imagine, having a house literally explode from a bomb has completely rocked the town of Riverdale, okay? It's all anyone could ever talk about.
As you both know, I've always wanted to make it on Broadway. Well, it's time I gave New York another shot.
Now is not the time, sir. Read the room, Kevin. But putting all that aside for a second, ever since the explosion happened, Archie, Betty, and Jughead have been experiencing some strange little goings-on around them. Like, Betty starts to see these weird lights around people and is somehow in charge of the FBI, which is the real question here no one's addressing, but whatever.
Okay. Hiram Lodge has been a person of interest for the last several years, and as of 2 days ago, he is now on our most wanted list.
Jughead's been developing some issues with his hearing, which actually kind of makes sense given what happened. And Archie is just Archie.
193 pounds. It was 165 last week.
Hey man, trust me, we've all been there the last 2 years, okay? I mean, heck, same thing happened to me back when I was like 10 and discovered mozzarella sticks. So with everything that's happened over the years, and now with this whole bomb thing, Veronica's finally had enough with her dad getting away with all these shenanigans and all that.
Ronnie, what's that?
Privileged information about my father's criminal empire. Everything you would need to hunt him down.
For the FBI?
Not the FBI. Daddy's had many chances, which is why I am reaching out to the underworld.
wait, okay, so Jughead's going deaf, Betty has pink eye, and Veronica is summoning Cthulhu. How has the show gone on for so long? Anyway, so after a few more little incidents here, like Betty keeps saying all this weird stuff around people, and Archie goes off to beat up the entire Ghoulies gang by himself.
Hey, Twyla.
Damn. I thought the Ghoulies had a death wish.
Wait, hold on a second. What'd you just say?
I thought the Ghoulies had a death wish.
You are the Ghoulies. Don't you mean the serpents? What are you talking about? Who wrote this script? So finally, after all this, Betty and Archie get to talking and sort of kind of start to figure out what's going on.
Since the explosion, I've started to see people's energy if it's threatening, like their auras. Is that crazy?
Betty, I'm getting invulnerable.
No. No, you can't. No, didn't I literally sing a song about Archie being invincible and stopping meteors with his abs or whatever? And now it's actually kind of real. What? I mean, I'm not saying they stole my idea, but like, I have no evidence to the contrary either, so. But also, like, they spent 5.5 seasons trying to explain away everything with, like, the flimsiest logic they possibly could, you know? And now it's just like, all right, you know, whatever, who cares? The show's never getting canceled no matter what we do, so guess what? Everyone's got superpowers now. But hey, at least that's about as weird as the show's gonna get, right? I mean, come on, there can't be anything more than this.
Something is very wrong with Britta. Her voice, her soul might be Abigail's.
Abigail's spirit could have entered the child's body when you invoked her curse. And now, perchance, Abigail controls the girl's body at night.
I can't do this anymore. I'm done. I'm out. Real talk though, like I said this back with the whole Riverdale thing, but I actually kind of like this type of thing way better when they just like fully embrace the totality of Riverdale-ness. Like this season, they just gone full Riverdale. Like after that deal with this Britta girl, the spirit of Abigail takes over Cheryl's body, and so now, just like in Riverdale, Cheryl is actually a reincarnated 100-something-year-old witch who wants to enact her revenge on Riverdale or whatever.
I just had the strangest encounter with Mistress Cheryl upstairs. She seemed less like herself than usual.
That's because I transferred Abigail's soul from your body into my granddaughter's via an arcane ritual.
How is this real? Totally normal, just completely normal show, everybody. I mean, some old lady says that to you, you just nod your head and say, oh, okay, sure. So yeah, somehow this is the new Riverdale, I guess.
Well, Betty, I don't know what happened to us in that explosion, but all of my childhood dreams about becoming a superhero are somehow coming true.
Archie, my man, I don't know how to tell you this, but you've been invulnerable the entire show. You fought a bear and then boxed like 10 dudes at once. Nothing's changed. Also, Veronica using her underworld powers has finally, allegedly, probably, maybe, but this is Riverdale, so I don't trust anything from anyone. Hiram has finally been taken care of, shall we say.
Reggie, I need to tell you something. 3 days ago, my father's body was found in a shallow grave in the New Jersey Pine Barrens.
What?
His hands were zip-tied, and he'd been shot 4 times in the back of the head.
Yeah, okay, Riverdale, sure, whatever you say. Yep, I totally believe you. Now, in regards to the whole superpower thing, the show introduces these powers and then immediately takes them away and explains why they can't use them anymore, except like whenever the show wants them to.
Hey, boss. Found this when I was clearing out the basement.
Holy crap. You know what this is, right?
No.
Holy
Palladium.
Holy crap, palladium! You know, the stuff that was at the forefront of everyone's minds literally like a week ago in this show. So we find out that palladium is kind of like kryptonite, well, I mean, for Archie at least, when after he gets this palladium, he ends up actually getting hurt after he falls onto a stunt mattress that someone forgot to edit out. And also, Betty can see these serial killer auras around people, except when she looks at the trash bag killer who started showing up just to hang out, I assume.
I couldn't see his aura. How could he not be a threat to me? Unless he's in my blind spot somehow? I don't know.
Something has been happening to me, too. I fell through the landing earlier, and I got hurt, Betty. Like my invulnerability's fading.
Okay, so jokes aside, here's my actual theory about what's going on. So palladium is the source of all these powers, okay? Remember how like the biggest palladium mine ever is underneath the Blossom Lands, right? And Abigail Blossom was/is this powerful witch or whatever. So when the bomb went off in the house, it unleashed the dormant magicness ship of the palladium in Archie's house that he mined last season, which ended up giving him, Betty, and Jughead powers, just like, you know, they probably gave Abigail Blossom powers back like 150 years ago or whatever. And so this is probably gonna come into play later in the season when they'll have to stop Abigail from using her magic to destroy Riverdale or something, and they'll have to explode all the palladium in town somehow, which will get rid of Abigail's magic, but also Archie, Betty, and whoever else of their current magic superpowers. Because nothing interesting ever carries over from one season to the next, so like I'm just saying, these superpowers are not here to stay, okay? Like what we see later on with Jughead after he's come to terms with his new deafness.
I'm sure I turned the oven off, but did I lock the door behind me?
Tabby, are you wondering if you left the door unlocked?
You know, I always thought being able to hear people's thoughts would be a pretty cool superpower, but like if you really stop and think about it, this would be such a nightmare. Ugh, I should not have had that extra Chipotle earlier. Yeah, well, we're in for a rough night tonight. I wonder what Jason Momoa's armpit tastes like. Why does Jughead keep using his childhood nickname, Jughead, even though he's like 25 now? Am I the only one who thinks this is weird? I mean, no one calls me Sally Skidmark anymore. But yeah, so now we have people with superpowers, but only when it's convenient though. Abigail Blossom is in Cheryl's body trying to take over the whole town or the world or whatever. The trash bag killer from season 5 is in Riverdale now hunting Betty. And so yeah, it's pretty much the same old thing over and over again. But like, I mean, come on, it's Riverdale. What'd y'all expect? But you know, joking aside, I do feel like what's happening to Riverdale as far as just, like I've said, you know, accepting the supernatural, like, I think that's actually a pretty good step. But they're like 5 seasons too late. Like the first season was like a whodunit, and then second season could have been a little bit kind of like the same as how it was. Like they should have been doing this like a long time ago. I mean, Riverdale is definitely on its last legs. Popularity is way down. I feel like it's one of those staple shows, kind of like Supernatural was, where it's like, it's probably gonna go on for even longer than 7 seasons. I know everyone's contracted out through 7 seasons, but it'll probably go on for even longer, but like, it really shouldn't, but at this point, it's jumped the shark like 4 times, so like, why not, you know? But I've said it in the video and I'm just reiterating my point here, but I do think that finally accepting, you know, magic and superheroes and time travel and whatever as being like a real, I say time travel because like as I'm editing this right now, I just saw this thing about an upcoming episode where Tabitha Tate like actually literally goes back in time, like not like, you know, remember back in the 80s guys, but like actually back in time. I'm actually kind of into it, just the fact that like this is what Riverdale was like always hinting at being, and now it actually is. Like they're just like going full Sabrina, which like I said, they should have done years ago. I think it's way too late to try and bring people back now. The only people who are watching Riverdale still are just complete lunatics like myself. Hope you enjoyed the video, everybody. If you did, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to ring that bell. Send me an email at alexmyerscontact@gmail.com. Let me know what shows or movies or whatever I should do next. Check out the sponsor if it interests you. It really helps out the channel. And above all, let's everybody have a great day, and I'll see you all next time.